What's up, everyone? It's your girl Rossie, and I'm back with another amazing show. I really hope you guys enjoyed last week's show. It was with Payday 916, Sacramento rap artist, one of the greats here in Sacramento. You guys know only bring you the best. You guys can go to Rossie's Clubhouse YouTube channel and you can check out that interview with Payday 916. Tonight, though, tonight's show has been in the works. I am a fan of this podcast. Look Cypher. This is a business, a podcast here in Sacramento. You find the best rap artists, named, unnamed, just straight talent, and you can check them out on Look Cypher. I couldn't wait to talk to them to find out about the artists, how they find their artists, how they started, just the Look Cypher, how that came about. So I want you guys to get ready to meet Sav, okay? And let's get going, guys. What's up? How are you, Sav?
Yeah, doing good. Doing good. Thanks for having me on, Rossie. I appreciate it.
Of course, absolutely. Like I was telling you guys, this is the Look Cipher. And before we even get into all that, let me let you all know, if you don't know what a cipher is, let me tell you what a rap cipher is. So this actually, rap ciphers emerged from the 5% Nation in Harlem in the mid 1960s and evolved into a core part of hip hop culture. Initially, the term cipher referred to a circle or a code, but in hip hop, it evolved into a gathering of rappers who improvise and rap together, often in a circle. So if you guys are around my age, maybe you go back to the days, if you remember Rap City, the basement, and you have many different artists, they get into the booth and you can wait for your favorite artist to get in there and do their thing. So what was awesome was when I came on Instagram, I found Look Cypher. And I was like, no way, they have one here in Sacramento. And it just brought me back to my early days of being young in school, a young adult, and rushing home so I won't miss the cipher. So, Sav, welcome to Rossie's Clubhouse. Thank you so much. You're doing great things here in Sacramento. The artists that you have on your show are amazing. You guys can check out Hayla V, Yums Awkward. Let's see, Slow Mo, Rain Ali, that she's on episode 2, Al P, D Do the Unknown, Flighty, MBK DZ, Sturgeon LD. There's so many and so much more that they had on their show. And we're right now in season 2 of Look Cypher. How did it come about?
It's a great question. So just like thinking back to it, I just wanted to bring like that element of like the BET in the basement, but also from early 2010s there was Team Backpack. So
Okay.
they were featuring artists in the Bay Area, and I was striving to get on there as a producer. And so basically, fast forward till now, there's other ciphers in the area, right? Like
Okay.
there's some in the Bay Area, some in Vallejo,
Okay.
Fairfield, and I think they're featuring the music that is present and now in Northern California hip hop.
Okay.
But what I thought was missing was like the rest of what like Sacramento is doing, and there's other artists that don't like do the current theme, if that makes
Okay.
sense.
Okay.
So yeah, so I just wanted to showcase that the underground hip hop element is still alive, where the instrumentals are intricate and they're sample heavy. They're influenced by East Coast and New York, just
Right.
how you mentioned earlier. So
Right.
I felt like there was still room to showcase these artists with the style of music that like I'm fond of.
Okay.
So just a one more lane to introduce or back to the public.
Right. Right. Now, are you a Sacramento native? Are you from?
No, I'm not. I'm from Hayward, California,
Are you? Okay.
and I
Okay.
yeah. So I moved to Sacramento in 2019 with my wife and family,
Nice.
and so now we're here. So it wasn't really until 2024 that I started getting out. Getting off getting off the internet and meeting folks. So to be honest, like my first hip hop experience in Sacramento was at Freestyle Friday, and that's hosted at City Soundbite in Sacramento.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
huge it's a huge event. Like anybody that's trying to get on, whether they're a producer or MC, they CSSB City Soundbite, they host a Freestyle Friday. And if you're
Oh.
a producer, you can plug in the aux cord and showcase your beats, and then they literally are having freestyle ciphers at their studio.
Yeah, I'm from Portland, Oregon. So, but I've been in Sacramento for 11 years now. And coming from the Northwest, the way that we view California is we look at, if you're from Northern California, we look at even Sacramento as all Bay music. But even growing up there, I originally lived in Merced. I lived there until I was like 13 years old. My brother was a huge influence on me as far as hip hop and rap music. I was more like your teeny bop music, you know, your Janet Jacksons, your Debbie Gibsons, all that. I didn't really get into rap music until my brother kind of introduced me to it was E40. It was the click.
Hey,
Yeah, and when I heard the click, it clicked with me. No pun intended, but intended. I never heard, you know, an artist like the different artists that comprised the clip. D Shot, you know, Sugar
right.
T, and just E40. And then, you know, I delved, you know, a little bit further into E40 and who he was, and just fell in love with hip hop, with rap music. And how did you, were you always a lover of rap music, hip hop?
Well, like you, my older brother, he was my influence on hip hop. So, like, I think probably like the earliest memory I have is around like 9 years old.
Okay.
So yeah, so my brother had early Too Short CDs.
Oh,
He would have
yes.
been
Yes.
he would have been like 13 at the time,
Yep.
and so Too Short was probably my first introduction to like independent hip hop,
Okay.
and
Yep.
then
Yep.
yeah, so shout out to my brother Nick. He's been a huge influence. So
Nice.
Mighty Souls of Mischief,
Yep.
uh, formerly known as Dre Dog. Let's see, Andre Nicotina. Like, so those are some of the like the early memories I have of hip hop. And then
Okay.
E40. So in a major way was one of E40's. I think it was his second CD, second
Yes.
album.
Yes. Yes.
I'm dating myself with the CDs, but
I'm trying.
yeah, yeah. So in a major way, I knew most of the lyrics of that album at like 10 years old.
Yeah, you know, E40, whenever he would, you know, release any music, I remember I would be at the record store, I'd be waiting in line, and, you know, I think it was, gosh, I think it was, LIQ, LIQ, I think it was a liquor store. And he was talking about, you know, he always did those amazing introductions for you to get ready for the music, and you're already excited. And he had mentioned, you know, I know you're in a parking lot trying to rip the tape off the music and trying to open it up. And I remember just being excited. I was one that I was excited about whichever artist came out, but loving hip hop. I remember when I first heard Tupac, I couldn't stand him. I remember a neighbor was playing Tupac for me, and it was a Tupacalypse Now. And I
Yeah.
remember, why so angry? Why? I mean, what's wrong with him? I couldn't get it. As a female, of course, when I Get Around came out, then I'm like, okay, I'm loving it. But I think I really fell in love with Tupac. Unfortunately, once he passed away, I discovered, you know, Machiavelli, and which, you know, I went down this rabbit hole of wanting to know everything about him, you know, which leads you to, you know, 1999, I think I got five on it came out, and just so much music. And I have a box of CDs by me because obviously everything's digital now, but I still got my box of CDs, you know, the every Tupac album there is, every E40, even Southern hip hop. Are you a fan of Southern hip hop as well? Your Scarfaces, your
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, Outkast is probably like my
yes.
first introduction to Southern hip hop.
Okay.
Uh, Southern Playlistic, Cadillac Music. They had a
Yes.
bunch of singles that were rotating on like the Bay Area stations, radio
Okay.
stations like KMEL and Wild 94.9 and stuff like that.
Okay.
Um,
I was in
yeah. So
Seattle. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
during that time? No, that's all good. Yeah. So
Yeah. I was in Seattle as a teenager. It was gosh, I think Kurt Cobain. It just came out, and I remember. Goodness, I'm losing my train of thought because I just have so much to say. But, anyways, I remember listening to uh, what is it? A Teen Spirit. At the time, it was when the what do you call it? Grunge music had just came out.
oh yeah.
I don't want to say how old I was, but anyways, old enough to know.
Yeah.
Anyways, though, but yeah, being a lover of all music, but just in particularly hip hop, that's where I first heard the Southern playlist, the Cadillac music, and I'd never heard of a production put together like that, where
Oh
you're
yeah.
visually see yourself in Atlanta. You're in the car. Like they made sure that you were with them riding through the streets of Atlanta, but hearing their music, you got to get up and get out and get something, and which introduces you to the Goody Mob, and and that who's that peeping through my window, pal? Nobody, all of that. But yeah, Outcast was, I fell in love with Outcast. I played that album. So I still have it, still play it. It's still relevant today. But just Hootie Hoo, all of that.
Yeah.
And didn't know what Hootie Hoo was, but just freaking awesome. For you and the artists that you find, how do you guys go about finding the artists? Do they reach out to you? How does that process go for you guys?
No, that's a great question, and an important one too, because uh, weekly, daily, almost, there's artists that are reaching out, right? So
Yeah.
when we first started planning the cipher, like our first one, honestly, I went to the artist that I was working with as a producer. I went to them first, right? Because I built a rapport with them, and I knew what they were capable of in terms of like live performance. Um, so I started the cipher, like the first 5 episodes of season one were all the artists that I had currently been working with. And from there it branched out to like people they knew. And we actually just we needed to build the platform and create a proof of concept. I mean, that's ultimately what we needed to do for the first the first full season. But for the first 5 episodes we had to show what we were doing and show what the goal was, right? A proof of concept, so the cipher itself. So once we actually had content, then we were able to show artists that we were what we were doing and what they would get on, basically.
Okay.
um yeah, so like as like mid season one, I remember we were at an event for one of the producers through City Sound Soundbite. Um, yeah, yeah. So his name is Connor Helm. So Connor Helm
Okay.
had an event. It was like a birthday party. Plus, he had performances, right? And
Yes.
I remember one of the people in the audience was Sacramento native and incredible artist Chewy. So,
Yes.
yeah, so like I had been following Chewy for years, and so that was like one of the first times that I was like afraid to show what we were doing because I wanted him to get on the cipher like so bad, you know.
Right.
Um, so to answer your question, like when we saw Chewy, we just showed him the proof of concept on YouTube, and he was like, of course, of course, I want to do that, you know. So shout out to Chewy. I don't know if I told him that like yet, but if he ever watches this interview, then he'll know that like we were nervous to kind of bring it up to him, you know.
Isn't
So
that
that's kind of how
funny?
it. Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, so like to wrap up that question, it's important, right? That like people know that we had to build a bunch of episodes out, and just like filming any content, you have to get a ton of content ahead of time, and that way you don't get behind on your content rollout, your IG clips or your TikTok clips, etc. From there, we held 2 live auditions, and so people would submit verses to a like a pre-selected instrumental. So then we started collecting submissions,
Okay.
and we basically chose like the first 9 artists for season 2, give or take. Like the auditioners from last season are now in season 2,
Awesome. Okay.
right?
Okay.
So that leads us to like now, like how does somebody gonna look cipher now?
Right.
Honestly, DMs work. They can email us at if you go to our website lookcypher.com, and our email's there, and yeah, so just you know what they say, like I hate to be like
Mm,
hate to use cliches, but they're they exist for a reason. So like the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So the artists that
yes,
are in our DMs all the time, those are the artists that I'm like, I have to respond. Like, dang, I feel bad for
right,
not responding because life is life and right now for me.
right, yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
plus, plus we're in full swing of season two and recording. Like there's so much happening. Um,
right,
yeah, so I'd say like just stay consistent. Please continue to follow and support the cipher, but also don't be shy. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. So DM, hit us in the comments, and then like we'll get back to you all.
right. I was saying it's funny because I've gone through that where I'll go out and I look for artists. Look for artists. If I'm
Yeah.
feeling their music and it's something I would listen to. Every artist that's come on this show, I'm listening. I've listened to your music. I love your music to where I gotta talk to you. Do you ever have those, like you said with Chewy? I have a couple of those where I'm trying to get on the show. Do you ever have those moments where it's like you said with Chewy, you reached out to them and you're like you're wanting to hear back from them that day, and you know that there's so much going on, but when you do hear back from them, it's the best feeling in the world because it's like it validates what you're doing. Like they love what I'm doing, they see what I'm doing. How is that feeling for you? Because I know I have that feeling, and I'll be in bed and get that email back and just be like yelling like, yes, I've been waiting to get you on.
Yeah. So the feeling that I get is close to yours for sure. It's like
Okay.
it's validation. It's
Yeah.
we get in our heads. I think
Yes.
I'll speak for myself. I get in my head, and
Okay.
sometimes I'll be like hesitant to reach out or DM.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, because of past experiences too, right? Like
Yeah.
before I went out downtown Sacramento and started networking in person, I
Okay.
was DMing people like I have beats, this and that,
Right.
and it wasn't working for me. Like direct messages did not work for me for networking. It wasn't until I got out, right, and then I broke through that I broke through, and then we started to
Right.
create from there. But yeah, so when I do reach out to an artist or a producer, even because it's twofold with us.
Okay.
Um, if love a producer, like for example, one of the producers that I was like could not get the message out, but saw them in person. His name is
Okay.
Marcus Murray. Marcus Murray is one of the most talented musicians
Yeah.
and producers like out currently.
Okay.
Um, like when you look at somebody's follower count, you look at their
Yeah.
how well they perform, their body of work, and it's a little intimidating sometimes, right?
Yes.
So again, in my own head, I'm like, dang, I would love to feature Marcus Murray, but I don't like that getting
Yeah.
that yeah, getting turned down or a no or like no response at all. Yeah, that
Right.
that kind of plays to whether or not I'm going to send messages. But I'll tell you right now, like most times we're getting a response back,
Yeah.
and most times it's a yes. It's an absolute yes.
Right.
But yeah, like it's a feeling of like, almost like euphoria because like
Yes.
you built up anticipation, stress, like do I send the message, do I not? And then when they do,
Yeah. So true.
yeah, when they're just like, yes, what took you so long to send that message out? Then it's like, well,
Yeah.
I don't want to get into that, but yeah, it was in my head. But yeah,
No,
I feel incredible. Yeah.
it's the best feeling, and I'm with you. I'm in my head. I can get stuck in my head a lot to where I have to make sure I don't stand in my way, because I go through that. If there's an artist, and I'm like you, with me, I'm really busy, so I really rely on finding them through like maybe your page, and I saw someone that I like, and I'll start following them or reach out to them, and then it's someone that's their music just blows me away. You go to their follower account, you see how many views they're getting on one post, and for me it's like I don't know if I'm ready for that, or if they are willing to come on, because I'm just getting started. maybe I'm not even 2 years in this in this. So, I'm thinking they're going to be like, no, wait till you gain more followers. Just all those things that go through your mind. And then when you get that response, someone responded to me and was like, oh my gosh, I've been following you and I've heard, I know who you are. And when they say
Yeah.
that, oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
Yeah.
the feeling that you get from I know who you are, how though? You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
they're really paying attention. They're liking what I'm doing. But I'm with you with that head thing because we are very new into this. And,
Yeah.
I remember telling you backstage, shout out to YNG Pharrell, shout out to Affiliato, Hayla V, Yums Awkward, Shelly K. Booker, all of those people that made me who I am. Like if it weren't for them coming on and, believing in me and sharing their talent, their stories with me, I don't know where I would be. And I reached out to them and they were just so nice to come on. So I get you with that because I am new. So I want to make sure that they know, you want people to know I'm serious about this. I love what I'm doing. For you and just being a producer, let's talk about the beats because do you make the beats and they have to rap on those beats or do they come prepared? How does that work?
Yeah, great question again. Okay, so like how I was mentioning for season one, for the first 5 episodes, I did use Sav 10 beats for those 5 episodes. And as we were talking before, is like we used my stuff just because of building the platform, right? We built
Right,
those first 5 episodes out, but from
right.
there we featured a new producer from episode 6 on.
Okay.
So at this point, Look Cypher, when you watch an episode, you're watching 4 featured artists. So one being the
Okay.
producer, and then 3 are the MCs.
Okay.
And the second part of your question is like oh sorry. So we send the artist the instrumental in advance,
Okay.
and so they have upwards, so some artists get like 2 months out, when we've
Okay.
reached out, we've booked
Right.
them for a future filming date.
Right.
But some artists have been given 24 hours notice just because we've had call outs or people that couldn't show up on day of for filming.
Right.
So if somebody falls out, then like we have no choice but to pivot and just reach out to maybe an interested artist or the next person up. So
Okay.
these are like, so shout out to Mike One. He pulled up within like I'd say like 16 hours notice of me
Wow.
reaching out to him and saying, hey, it's tomorrow at this time, can you make it? And it was
Wow.
like, it was tough. So
Right.
yeah, so with that being said, we record the music live on stage, like while we're filming. So
Okay.
we don't do anything pre-recorded.
Okay.
So they have time to prepare their verse. So if they want to
Okay.
write something new, or perform a verse that they've already done, but perform it live, that's
Okay.
up to them ultimately to showcase what they have, right?
Right. Right. How long does a taping or not? It's not a taping, but how long is the live? How long does a show usually last?
Yeah, no, you're right. Like it's taping, right?
Okay.
So like once everything's set up, once the studio's set up, we have all the cameras and the equipment and lighting and everything set. Once the artists are on the stage, it only takes 5 minutes to record.
Okay.
Right, because it's
Nice.
it's done live, so it's like
Right.
if there's if there's a mistake, we're gonna keep it. So yeah, so what we tell them in advance, like even day of, in emails and on Instagram messages, everything, we let them know that like we record live and in one take. So treat this as a live performance that you would for a show, right? If you're performing live in front of an audience, the show must
Right.
go on. So if you have a flub or you forget your lyrics or something, you just have to keep going.
Right.
So
Right.
like that's the added element that I also thought was missing from the ciphers in our area. You know, and no shade thrown at all. I just like, if we're showcasing MCs, then
Yeah.
what better way to do it than showcase it live?
Yeah, I can't believe it's live because watching a lot of the ciphers, these I mean these are pros. I mean I haven't they're on their game. You know, Hayla V, for instance, you have her coming back for season two. She open up? Did she just open up season two? She's back in season two.
Yeah, yeah, good question. Yeah, so what we're trying to do is we're trying not to have any repeat artists for season two.
Okay. Okay.
And I could tell you why later, or if we can
Yeah.
circle back.
Please.
But
Please.
yes, so what we're trying to do is like Look Cipher. The cipher itself is a collaboration effort. Oh, the camera heck move. So look, Look Cipher is a collaboration effort, right? And so we don't charge producers and we don't charge the MCs to get on the cipher, right?
Nice.
We're supporting them, and in
Right.
return, like they're supporting us with their
Yes.
artistry and their gift of performance and
Right.
vocals and lyrics, etc. Right? So
Right.
what we're doing with the Look Cipher exclusives, and that's why we're bringing up Halo V now, is we're the Look Cipher exclusive is something that we're trying to create as an asset to where if artists want to get a featured performance, they want to hire us as videographers, then that's what they
Oh.
can get, like that stage performance, but a
Yes.
solo shot. Um, I mean, that's ultimately what the exclusive is for.
Okay.
And she did kick off season two for us
Okay.
as an exclusive.
Okay.
And
Okay.
yeah, so we featured her, and in production by Marcus Murray.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so
Um.
she's technically not on season two,
Okay.
in a cipher format with sharing the stage with other
Okay.
artists.
Okay. You do have like the Cipher Underground. Is that, and you
Yeah.
have, can we talk about that? Is that a whole different, cuz I know that you're expanding, basically. You're expanding what you're
Thank you.
doing. So can we
Yeah,
talk about Cipher Underground? Cuz I love that. I watched that, a little bit of that as well.
absolutely. Yeah, nothing's off the table. So whatever you want to talk about is good.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah. So in between season one and season two, so we finished filming in October of 2024. So we didn't plan to release season two, episode one until May, right? So that's six
Yeah.
months of
Yeah.
of dead time, and
Right.
you already know that if you don't continue to post frequently on your YouTube page or on your on your channel there, or on a TikTok or on Instagram consistently, then you'll lose some steam, you'll lose like backing from like the algorithms and stuff. So
Yes.
when folks say just be consistent, like they really do mean have episodes
Yeah.
lined up, or your content lined up every single
Right.
week. So I say that to say, like, the reason why the Look Cipher Underground came about was because we went on, on the live on the radio,
Oh,
with the hip hop truck stop, and that radio station is at UC Davis at KDVS 90.3 FM. So shout out to the hip hop truck stop. They brought us on, and they were helping us promote the live auditions and just promote Look Cipher in general. So we brought Yums Awkward with us that night.
okay.
And shout out to Yums, because
Yes.
when I told him about the idea of going, getting more promotion, he was down. But he also performed live on the radio, and like, are you familiar with Sway in the morning?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So
Yes. Oh,
Sway, on
yes.
their show, they have us like a live Five Fingers of Death for like the best MCs that they can bring on. And
Okay.
so I put together four instrumentals for Yums, and he rapped through all of them, just murdered it. So
Right.
we performed that live there too.
Mm.
A lot of information to tell you about, like, the Look Cipher Underground, right? So while
Yes.
we were
Yes.
there filming him live, and he was performing live on the radio, we were in the basement. So the underground portion of Look Cipher Underground is because KDVS, the radio station, is underground. It's in the basement.
Okay.
And
Okay. Okay.
so behind the radio, like behind like the DJ booth, if you will, is
Mhm.
I want to say, the nation's largest public library of vinyl, CDs, cassettes,
Wow.
and 45s.
Okay.
So they have so much content down there, like in terms of media.
Nice. Right.
And from there, like, the idea was spawned. It was created and spawned by the hip hop truck stop. They were like, no one's ever come down here and did a cipher. And I was like, what do we need to do to get that done? He was just
Wow.
like, just pull up with us. And so that's like how the Look Cipher Underground was born.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
born by invitation down there. And so
Nice.
we filmed a I think we still have 4 unreleased Look Cipher Underground
Okay.
episodes. And yeah, so it was created
Right.
while being there in October promoting,
Okay.
and we also were getting more content ready. So when Look Cipher season 1, when the finale hit, like
Okay.
we had more content to roll out in the off
Nice.
season. And so that's the goal,
Nice.
is in between Look Cipher seasons, we're going to release more underground content.
Nice. And you also have like the podcast, and we were talking about that, and you were saying that that happens first. Like what is it, inside? You
The inside.
interview some of the art. Okay, yeah.
I didn't mean to
How
cut you off.
No, 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 that's fine. No, that's fine. You're good. You're good. You said that happens before the ciphers happen, so you kind of get to know the artist, like an interview type of situation.
Yeah, so to explain like how the inside look works, yeah, so we again, like, so we could have content in between Cypher episodes.
Nice,
We were like,
nice.
dang, we need to like create more things. We needed
Right.
more content. And so like naturally it was like, well, if we increase the amount of hours that we're in the studio filming, then we can not only film the ciphers, but then we cut out more time to interview the artists on the spot.
Nice.
So like the progression of it is like we brought 2 bar stools on stage, and we just started interviewing the artists, like whether it was before their cipher kicked off or after, it's still at the same time.
Okay.
So the artists,
Okay.
like, they're already in the building. Some of them are
Okay.
traveling from, like, we had artists travel from like Los Angeles,
Okay.
Vegas, the
Okay.
Bay Area. That's no
Wow.
like that's no easy commute, right?
No,
So
no.
if
Drove that.
yeah, so if
Drove that.
yeah, yeah, so
Yeah.
like, it just became advantageous for us to film the ciphers, get the interviews at the same time. And
Nice.
so whether or not they've like performed before or after, it's still done at the day of, basically.
That's a question I wanted to ask you as well, and you just answered it, but I'll just let you know what I was going to ask was, as
Yeah,
far as the look cipher and the talent, is the talent only here in California or from other states? And you answered that. So do you have a lot of people now that know about you that are from like East Coast that want to be
yeah,
featured on Look? Do you have that going on for you guys as well?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So
Amazing.
whether it be us reaching out to artists in other states, or getting like interest from artists from other states,
Okay.
we like, the most recent conversation I've had was with an artist from Philadelphia. And
Okay.
the question is like, where are you guys filming, and are you coming here? And so we obviously tell them like, hey, we're currently filming in Sacramento. If
Right.
you have business out here, if you have a reason to make it,
Right.
then yeah, let's if it makes sense for you, then let's get you on. Let's try to book a date.
Awesome.
Um, yeah. So with that being said, sorry, like the most recent conversation and proof of like what we're doing is working.
Okay.
There's an incredible artist out of New Orleans. His name
Okay.
is Alfred Banks, and I had the pleasure of watching his show as he was doing a tour through California.
Hmm.
He was performing at the school with Rain Ali
Yes. Okay. Yep.
at the Shakur Center. And
Okay.
so I got to meet him and watch his performance. And at the end, like, it, I'm not gonna lie, if I'm ignorant to something, I'll speak to that, right? I just don't know. So I
Okay.
had no reason but to just be completely honest with Alfred Banks when I met him. Like, I don't know you. I feel like I know you now because your performance was absolutely out of this world. I said, I don't know your follower count. I don't know your claims, your claim to fame, rather. Like, I don't know. All I know is you're incredible. You've been doing this for a long time. His show set, everything that he did to get the audience engaged,
Yeah.
he is like masterful, like incredible.
Wow.
And so I
Wow.
made that connection with him while he was here in town. And as he's, that was in the winter, like near
Okay.
December. As these months have gone by, we've stayed in connection through Instagram, and he's doing another like tour. He's going to set up another tour in California. So on July 3rd, we created another studio session so we can bring Alfred Banks onto the Look Cipher, and it makes sense
Um,
for him because he's going to be, earning money out here while he's here.
right.
And then we're gonna shoot his interview. We'll shoot an exclusive Look Cipher for Alfred Banks, but he's also going to be on the Cipher for season two.
Wow. Congratulations
So
on that. Isn't that dope?
crazy. No,
That
super
that's
dope.
that's awesome. It's awesome. It's so exciting. It's so
Yeah.
exciting to be able to work in an industry like we work in. For me,
Yeah.
I never imagined in 1,000 years that this is what I'd be doing. You know what I mean?
Hey,
And
yeah.
as much as you love music, to be able to be around it and fan out. For me, fanning out on some of the artists. Have you? Well, first of all, with the episodes,
Yeah.
is every episode? I think you said there's what, six or seven episodes in each season. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So season one was 12 episodes.
Oh, wow.
We we planned season two to be 12 episodes also.
Oh,
And
okay.
as we are getting into the season and we're getting more efficient with setup and
Mhm.
takedown, uh like there's been ample amounts of time to gain more cipher episodes.
Okay.
So we have like this huge like 8-person cipher that we've recorded, and we
Wow.
have multiple exclusives. And as the production continues to go on for season two, we can stick to the 12 episode plan, which we have a full calendar for that, a calendar release, content release calendar, etc.
Right.
But it might increase to more episodes, to be honest.
Wow.
um yeah, like right now we're releasing yeah, like which is a blessing for sure. Like
Yes.
we're honored to be able to create the content and get these artists like on and give them that platform.
Right.
But to keep up with the content, like that's pretty hard to do. um we What I was going to say is we right now we have like a slow release of every 3 weeks,
Okay.
and that way we can get the interviews edited, and we can get the
Okay.
cipher edited too, because like we have to edit the audio and
Right.
just make
Yep.
sure it looks good, right? We have 4 different
Yeah.
camera angles and doing all that.
Mhm.
um we I think at this point we have enough content to like release the episodes faster.
Okay.
So
Okay. That,
like
that,
it's a crazy idea for me, but what I would love to release an episode every other week, and just I think we can make it
right.
through the rest of 2025 with fresh
Right.
content.
That's awesome. That's awesome. By the way, guys, if you guys are just tuning in, you're here with me and Sav 10 from Sacramento's Look Cypher. We're discussing and just to let you guys know, all of Sav's information will be in the description of the video, so you can go to the website, you can go to the Instagram, you can go to the YouTube, and or the website. On the website, I went there, and you guys can watch all of season ones. You can clock in the season two, go to the YouTube channel, and you can see all of season one and season two and Underground Cipher. You can check all that out. Amazing what you guys do. I mean, there's a lot of work that it takes to bring what you bring and put it on YouTube and to share with all of us who are just fans and lovers of music, in particular hip hop music. So I want to discuss to you about ciphers, just like ciphers throughout the years. Okay. So I
Yeah,
went back and I found old ciphers that of course, BET obviously had the most ciphers. They did a cipher, like I think every BET has a cipher. And I wouldn't watch the whole awards. I would wait for the cipher because that's what I wanted to see. Who's going to kill it? Who's going to, twist some words together and just make your mouth drop like, ah, he said that. So, and Double XL does their freshman ciphers. So
yeah,
You have Big Crit, Tech Nine, Machine Gun Kelly, Kendrick Lamar. I think that was back in 2013 on BET. Freaking awesome cipher. You guys can go back to YouTube and check that out. And actually, Double XL, my favorite ciphers from them, 2015, Joyner Lucas. If you guys haven't heard of Joyner Lucas, he's freaking dope, okay? Mac Miller, rest in peace, Mac Miller. That was in 2011 on Double XL Freshman. It was Mac Miller, YG. And then you have 2016, Kodak Black, 21 Savage, Lil Uzi Vert. That one was a dope cipher as well. As far as Look Cypher now, all right?
Hey.
Let me tell you guys, all right? So those are just old classic ciphers you guys can go check out, but you guys can check who I'm about to read right now. These are some of my favorite ones, and you have so many, so I had to just pick the ones that I listened to quickly. Slow Mo, Rain Ali, episode 2, LP, um, dope, absolutely dope. Doe the Unknown, Flighty, loved this part when he came up. MBK, DZ, Surgeon, LD, and of course, Chewy, Hayla V, and Yums. They all three of them killed that cipher. I mean, Hayla V just comes out and just I don't know how she does it. This girl is so talented. She can just think of something on the spot and it makes sense. And Yums can go for days. And Chewy was just dope. So I love the three of them together. Also, Ace Boogie, Aztec, T Pills, Lou Slugger. Let's see. Dang, there's so many. Already Kai, dope. So you will discover a lot of artists that maybe you're following and listening to, but go to Look Cypher in the description. You guys can check out a lot of these artists that I just brought up that have been on Look Cypher. Do you have some of your favorites from season 1 that you was just like you're there and you're like, oh my gosh, you killed it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we all do, right? Whether
Yes.
or not you like, if you connect with somebody personally or connect with their message,
Yeah.
or their cadence or their stage performance, for sure. Like, yeah, one of the biggest episodes you've already named, is with Chewy and Hey Levy and Yums Awkward, right? Like the
Right.
who's who of like, wow,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Honestly, like being on set that day with my partners and like the co-founders of Look Cypher, as they're performing, we're like looking at each other like, is this for real?
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. And like just like this the story of like the season finale, how that came to be too.
Okay.
So yeah, so the season finale, uh that one that one's special for us. I don't want to go like too in the weeds with like how it happened, but that was one of
Okay.
those episodes where we had the artists selected, and two of them couldn't make it, so it was like last minute phone calls. And Stockton's very own Swift Homicide, he auditioned for Look Cypher, and we told him like, don't even worry about it. Like you don't. And I asked him like, so, so Swift Homicide, man, shout out to him. We have another like long form podcast coming out with him really soon, like next week or in 2 weeks. Um, Swift Homicide is somebody who's been in the industry for a long time, and you could tell when an artist is like, what do you what why are you auditioning, sir? Like, and he just said he loves it. And again, he was like, I love what you guys are doing. Like,
Right.
I love ciphers. I love competition. It's a battle. I want to be
Yep.
a part of it. Also to create more content. And it was like, all right, well, you don't need to audition. Matter of fact, if you can come out here tomorrow, we can get you on the cipher. And yeah, so that one with the Young Zell,
Yeah.
man, like talk about like a special performance, because these guys are like, they weren't a part of like the plan that we created months and before. They
Right.
hopped on at last minute and crushed it, absolutely crushed. So
Right.
those two
Right.
episodes. But I can't leave out the fact that like we wouldn't have Look Cipher without episode 1,
Right.
and that was featuring Moneyman, DZ
Yeah.
Grove, and Josh Joran.
Yeah.
And like I said, like like we wouldn't be where we're at. We wouldn't have that proof of concept with that first episode without those folks. So I'm forever indebted to these artists because like they trusted in me. You mentioned this earlier, like
Yeah.
they trusted in me to put on the show itself, right? The and
Yep.
but without them, we wouldn't have the platform at all. So I've probably said this like 10 times already. Like without the artists, it would just be me and my instrumentals and no
Yeah,
audience.
I feel you on that. Also, shout out to Jakari Smith. I saw him on the Look
Eh,
Cypher. His was I reposted his. His was dope. I mean that kid is talented as well. So I love
yeah.
Jakari. Shout out to you. And also I do want to mention Hayla V. Thank you so much. Early episodes of Rossie's Clubhouse. Hayla V. Yums Awkward came through. Lil Six came through. I mean, just the legend that he is. Philly Auto came through. Mellow the Man came through. All of these guys, YNG4L, like all of you guys, I want to thank you as well because you built the platform. I mean, you gave me validation. You made sure people knew that this was a serious and a good podcast. And I thank you guys for sharing your stories because they don't have to. They really don't have to, especially when you're an unknown. And I was absolutely an unknown to this space as far as podcasting. So I really want to let them know that I really appreciate you guys. When you just getting back to like the finale of an episode, I know that maybe you don't know, or maybe you do. Do you keep certain artists that you're like, okay, we're going out with a bang? These are the people that do you already have them in mind? Who's going to be on that final episode?
That's a great question. Yes, yes. So right now we have the season finale and it's tucked away. So
Nice.
um
Okay.
I, I don't mind releasing like details of that with you, a little
Okay.
exclusive for Rossi's Clubhouse.
Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank you. We
so
appreciate that.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we have gosh, you know what? Give me 1 second. Let
Go
me
ahead. Do your
just
thing.
confirm. Let
Go
me confirm
ahead.
it. I'm open my Google Sheets really
Okay.
quick. I had the notes pulled up on the screen behind my computer here, and it closed, and
Okay.
I can't reach
I do
I
the
can't reach
same
my
thing.
keyboard.
I do the same thing I have.
um, yeah. So as of right now, okay. So give me a sec. All right. All right. All right. I'll say it. I'll say it because I
Okay.
told the
Okay.
artist we went to Shady Lady in Sacramento on Wednesday night to support Flip a Beat Club,
Okay.
and they have like Lo-Fi Wednesdays, and it's a featured producer like evening,
Okay.
and they have open mic, so there's performances happening there, and so like we've captured some of that content and released it out on our YouTube as well. So it's it's just to being a part of that club, like the Fupa Beat Club, but being amongst those talented individuals, man,
Okay.
it's an incredible place to be. So I'm plugging the Shady Lady on Wednesday nights because it's definitely a place to go to. There's no cover, and you'll catch the most incredible performances, including like artists that I admire, like E.G. the Beast
Oh yes. Yes.
and Jakari Smith did a back-to-back freestyle cipher, and we captured that content, and that just happened last Wednesday.
Yes.
Well, it's up to them when they want to release it because like I've been filming that content, and I just like give it to them.
Okay. Okay.
But in attendance that night was a very very talented artist and from the area as well. Her name is Bagod, and so
Yeah. I
yeah, so
yes. Yes.
So I referenced that night to reference Bay God because she asked me like, "Hey, when's our cipher coming out so we can get prepared for the content release and etc." And so I told her, I said, "Hey, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna tuck your guys' this episode for the finale." And she was like, "When's that gonna be? In a couple months? Like a couple weeks?" Uh, Let me look at it's December 18th is
No, that's dope. Yes, I know of her, heard of her, heard the music. Yes.
yeah. Yeah,
Congrats on
so
that.
that cipher, yeah, yeah. So shout out to Bay God, and the other two artists on that are uh, Rudy Kalma and
Okay.
C+.
Okay. Okay.
So we have like Sacramento royalty on that season finale,
Love it.
and so you heard it here first on
Love it.
on Rossie's Clubhouse.
Exclusive, guys. Exclusives on
Yeah,
Rossi's Clubhouse, guys. Exclusive. Um,
that's true. Absolutely. So shout out Bay God, shout out Rudy Kalma, shout out C plus money.
I
Man, like that
I
episode
can't
is
wait to see
just
it. I can't wait to
no,
see it.
it's crazy.
I
It's
cannot
crazy,
wait to
but
see it.
every episode is going to be crazy. Like the talent, the roster that we have.
Right.
I can tease the next episode that's coming out on Thursday, this Thursday.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so the three artists are 93 Torrance,
Okay.
James Quesada, and then a very talented artist that won the Look Cypher audition. His name is Beard Picker.
Beer picker.
And
Okay. Okay.
yeah, Beard is actually like by trade, he's a contractor. He's a
Okay.
blue collar worker. But he also does like live performances. He works hand in hand
Wow.
with hip hop artists, but he himself is a country artist. So
Really?
yeah, so his
I love
audition won.
that.
Yeah, yeah, he crushed his audition. He won the judges' vote to get on the live audition, and he won the top one of the top four spots for the audition. And he got on Look Cypher, so his like that episode's
Wow.
coming out. Yeah,
That's
yeah. So,
that's
but so,
awesome.
James Quesada as well. Like he won the top spot as well.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
mean,
that.
honestly, every episode that I've seen, it gets even better. I mean, I haven't seen one episode where I'm like, oh, I don't enjoy. Every single episode's good. I mean, the talent is amazing that you have. So you'll be happy with any episode that you guys watch. But definitely check
Oh
out
yeah,
Look Cipher. I mean, it really is. And if you're someone that loves rap battle, loves ciphers, obviously, I mean, this definitely for you. So yeah, I've seen a few of the episodes of season one, season two, and everyone that you have on there is just dope. The punchlines, it's really good. I'm absolutely ecstatic that you actually have Look Cipher here in Sacramento. You told me a lot that I
yeah,
didn't know, being fairly new to the scene in Sacramento, the hip hop scene in Sacramento.
yeah,
Thanks for letting me know about the Shady Lady. You guys, Wednesday nights, you guys can check out artists there. I'm definitely going to try to come on a Wednesday night so I can see some of this myself. So thank you for that. Let's
yeah.
see.
Thank you. Thanks for the kind
No
words. I
problem.
appreciate
Look, no, no
you know.
problem. Um, you want to talk about what you have coming up for the Look Cipher? Please, this is your turn.
Sure. So what we
Yes.
have coming up for Look Cypher is, as of right now, fresh episodes every 3 weeks. And so June 12th is the episode three. So every 3 weeks from there, guaranteed a brand new cipher with four new featured artists. So one producer and three MCs. So
Yes.
to promote episode three that's coming out June 12th, we have 93 Torrance, Beard Picker, and James Quesada. And that episode's produced by Kenny Made a Banga from Buffalo, New York. So that was one of the most like impressive DMs that we've ever gotten. Was from somebody from New York, right? Like for
Wow.
us, that's
Yeah.
the mecca of hip hop. Um,
Yes. Yes.
and like what a super talented producer is Kenny. Very like I was like, hey, like can we get on a phone call? Can we just like let's iron this out really quick? Because having a phone call is easier for me than to
Yes.
text it out and wait
Right.
like a week. Especially when
Right.
we're like trying to build in advance, build all these ciphers up.
Right.
So I hopped on the call with Kenny. I sent him Look Cipher Underground episodes. I sent him season one episodes, and he was like, what y'all are doing is impressive. It's incredible.
Yes, it
Like,
is.
how can I be a part of it? And I was like, all right, honestly, we just need a few beats to kind of go through and see if it makes sense for our platform. Like so we do lean towards production that it's a sample heavy.
Okay.
I'd like to say boom bap. I don't know what else to call it. It's just
Okay. Okay.
like that. East Coast, New York,
Yes.
grimy type beats that are sample
Yes.
heavy and influenced like that. And this beat from Kenny Made Banga is like all original sounds,
Right.
and it doesn't have samples. It doesn't have what we generally are looking for.
Right.
When you hear the song, it's undeniable that like the production quality is top tier. And I'm surprised that he's not signed to one of the New York labels or
Right.
anything, anybody out there, to be honest.
Right.
So shout out to Kenny. This is one of my favorite beats of the entire season. Yeah, I'm hyping it up, but that's because it's like it's true, it's real, and y'all will see like it's crazy.
Well, I have to tell you, you made some great beats for season one. I'm gonna tell you that. You know, when it comes to a cipher, obviously the beats, it's really that matters what they're going to rap over, and you did a
Right.
great job. I mean, every single cipher that I listened to, the beats were was great. You know, it was great. It set the artists up really good for them to come through. And so I have to give you credit and props for that. You did a really good job. So
Thank you.
I'm sure what you have for season two is going to be absolutely amazing. I can't wait to hear Kenny's beats. Um, I do want to mention to you guys really quick. I want to reiterate just something I have. I was on your page, so I went through and wanted to make sure that they all knew. Just a second here. Let's see. As far as the episodes that you were talking about, let's see. Yeah, so as far as the upcoming episodes for season two, you guys, episode three, like he said, 6/12. Episode four, July 3rd. Episode five, July 24th. You can catch episode six, August 14th. So you guys can catch those upcoming episodes that we can't wait to see who's going to be in those episodes, by the way. Before I go, though, I want to make sure that you all know what's coming to Rossie's Clubhouse this summer because it's going to be lit. Let's see. Today, you guys here with me. If you're just joining me, I have Sav 10 from the Look Cypher. Incredible what they're doing here in Sacramento, you guys. So check out the description. Link to all of his links. You can link to the website, the Instagram, the YouTube. Check out the artists that he has featured. Amazing what you guys do. I absolutely love it. Let's see, we have on the 23rd, I have Sonae. She's an artist here in Sacramento. She's a rap artist. She is absolutely dope. She's going to be here on Rossie's Clubhouse. Let's see, on the 25th, I have Caleb. He's a young actor here in Sacramento. He's been on Rossie's Clubhouse once before. He's coming back. We're going to do an update because Caleb is like multi-talented. He's an artist, but he's an amazing actor here in Sacramento. And you guys probably have seen him on stage. He's been on the news here, so he's absolutely a really good artist. Also on Rossie's on Movie Lovers Unite, we have Josh Prey coming on. Josh Prey is a comedian. He is amazing. He's going to be on with John and I on Movie Lovers Unite. And then in July, I have my first artist from Brooklyn. Um, he's also amazing. Zoe Skrilla is going to be here on Rossie's Clubhouse July 10th. And of course, Alicia Marie. You guys have been following me, following my story. She's an amazing artist out of Carolina. So I can't wait to have you on, Alicia Marie. She'll be here in Sacramento. Hopefully, I can link up with her, go see her show. She should be here soon. But she's coming up, you guys. And Penny Holyfield is going to be coming on Rossie's Clubhouse on July 14th. Another legendary artist here in Sacramento, rap artist. He's absolutely amazing. He actually had a hit Christmas song out this past Christmas. It went viral. So, Henny, I can't wait to talk to you as well. And you guys, thanks for supporting us. Thanks for supporting Look Cypher. We are new to this space, and you guys have been giving so much love to us. So I appreciate you guys. You have anything else you want to say?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you brought
Please
up
do your thing. Go
a few.
ahead.
Yeah, so shout out to Sonae. She's pulling up. We're filming on June 12th, so we're gonna capture her on Look Cypher. and Henny Holyfield, along with Doe the Unknown. So y'all already saw Doe. Henny
Yeah.
Holyfield, we're filming his episode on July 3rd. So those dates are like, we film on Thursdays. We
Okay.
release episodes on Thursdays, and so
Okay.
yeah, that's great that you're working side by side with us, and we're
Yes.
working together with these artists.
Yes.
But I do need to give a special thanks to the team.
Please do.
So Jadakaz, Anton, Austin, and Chris. And big shout out to Peaches. So Peaches has been holding it down, doing the interviews with us.
Right. Right.
Shout out Flip a Beat Club, and shout out Mons Rock. Shout out 12's Wax in Sacramento. They've been gracious hosts for us to do our long form podcast on site at 12's. And last but not least, I gotta thank. Well, not last. Sorry, one more shout out to my boy A Keys. He's been helping us with the auditions. And last but not least, my super supportive wife, Kim. Thank you so much. So she lets me go out and capture this content, and gives me the time to connect, because like I've had this passion for hip hop like forever.
Right.
I've been making beats since '02, and so it's
Wow.
only right that like I continue to pour my creativity out into the hip hop community, and I wouldn't be able to do any of it without the support of my loving wife. So thank you,
Absolutely.
Kim. I love you.
I agree. Husband's a producer on one of the other shows. So of course me sitting here, me doing what I do here in Sacramento, auditions, all that. Of course, honey, I love you so much. And John DeGregorio, the new director and producer of Rossie's Clubhouse. John, you're amazing. You're amazing. You're the most talented guy I ever met. So happy that we linked up. Thank you so much for teaching me how this goes. So, and to the community, thank you to the community of Sacramento. Thanks for the love that everyone's giving both of
Yeah.
us. We really appreciate it. And I will be coming for your artist. And I love going to your channel and finding great artists. I wrote some names down here so that I can get ready for August and September shows. Listen, Sav, you are always welcome on Rossie's Clubhouse. If there's anything you ever want
Hey.
to promote or talk about, thank you for being a friend here. You're always welcome to come back. Just let me know, hey, want to do something, and let's do that. And I just appreciate you taking time out to come on the show. You guys don't go
Yeah.
anywhere. I want to shout out to Mosey. He created the outro to Rossie's Clubhouse. So I want to thank you, Mosey, so much for just being a good friend and giving me something that I needed. So thank you so much. You guys, I will see you guys in about 2 weeks, guys. So and I'll see you guys Wednesday night on Movie Lovers Unite. Josh Prey, John DeGregorio. We're just going to have a conversation about movies, okay? So join us there. I appreciate you. Sav, don't go anywhere. Stay right back there, okay? And
Absolutely, and thank you. Thanks for giving us opportunity to showcase here.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You guys, Sav 10, Look Cypher here in Sacramento. Sacramento's doing big things, guys. We're out.